Welcome to the online version of the physical world. I'm going to go through very quickly the first module, not the module, the first block of material in the course, just to show you how it's laid out, to kind of get you familiar with the course, um, and to kind of give you strategies around how to approach this course. So there'll be several things that we'll go over. First, at the top of your Canvas page for this course, you should find the resources module. In that is the syllabus for the course. That'll have in it when we should be covering what. And it has in it the grading schemes for the different types of assignments you have in this course. Um, and other information that you may or may not need. It has my office hours. That's a great place to go for my office hours. The other thing you'll find is a link to my directory page entry here at Delta State that also has my office hours. This is a book. It's a free PDF. This covers way more than we're going to cover in this text. This is the book we use for Physics for Life Sciences. We're pulling bits and pieces out of it, and it goes into more depth on each section than we're going to go into, but it's there for your reference, and you'll see here and there I've got videos of problems for it as examples and things like that. So that's reference material, and more for your curiosity if you want to go in there and look a little bit more. Other things you'll be doing, I'm not doing the about the course. We're not going to worry about that. So I'm going to want you to upload a valid Canvas photo that's a good likeness of you. Here's my reasoning behind this. Canvas is, for many of you, your first electronic professional presence. So Canvas is not like Facebook or I don't know, Instagram or any of the other social media applications out there. Canvas is your first professional footprint. Since it's your first professional footprint, I want you to have a Canvas photo that's a good headshot. It's practice for other things you'll be doing as a professional in your life, like setting up a LinkedIn profile. So please go ahead, and it's an easy 5 points. Easy 5 points. The other thing I have you do that's an easy 5 points in the course is send me an Okra mail. All right, send from your Okra mail account. Now, if you send me one through Canvas, that doesn't count. It has to be from your Okra mail account. Again, Okra Mail is our professional way of communicating about this course in addition to Canvas. And anything that goes out via Okra Mail is official communication. So I want to make sure all of you have access to your Okra Mail. So you need to go ahead and get onto your Okra Mail and make sure you can send me an email. And this is going to be due the end of the second week. Canvas photo and Okra Mail. I don't think I've set that up yet. I normally have a Find My Office assignment, but since this is an online course, you're not doing that this semester. So let's start taking a look at this course. We're going to go through to the first exam in more detail and show you how I lay out the modules and how I think about this. So here you go. You've got your first homework, your first discussion, that's a group discussion, and your first individual discussion question that you have to address. Most modules are going to start off with these three things. Below that is the supporting material you may need to go through in order to do these three things. All right. Now, homework. You for your homework problems, you get 5 attempts. Right? 5 attempts over the course of the semester. So you get to go back and try and improve on your homework grade after we've taken the exam, exam on the material, even, right? So up until I believe I close these out on Sunday before finals week starts. So up until the Sunday before finals week, you can go back on homeworks that you didn't do all that well on and give them another try. Canvas will keep your best score. All right. You will see, however, that this has in it, you must score at least 10 out of the 15 points on it. Now this one I put kind of high because this is kind of a go, no go for the course. That means if you can't do these, then you're going to struggle so much in the rest of the course that we need to go ahead and address whatever problems you have right away. As a companion to the homework, there's a homework discussion. Now I'm going to pull up, tell you what you're supposed to do in the homework discussion. All right. In the homework discussion, you're going to be divided up into groups of about 5 people, and you're going to divide up the problems among yourselves in order. So if this one is 15, most of the homework will be either 10 or 5 problems. And if at the end, after the first exam, we're going to have new groups, but you're going to work with the same people through the first exam. Here's what you're going to do. If you're the alphabetically the first person in the group, you're going to take the first problem. If you're alphabetically the second, you're going to take on the second, and so on, and you're going to keep going through until you've divided up all the problems. Well, you're going to take a look at the problem, and you're going to post in there how you think you should approach it. You're going to read, you're going to then go to other people's posts about how they think they should approach a problem and make comments. They're going to make comments on yours. You're going to read all those comments. You're going to update how you think that problem should be approached. All right. So eventually you should get to your posting, your thread on a given problem being the final explanation the group believes solves the problem. This is so that all of you can work together to figure out how to solve the problems. You're not on your own out there trying to solve these problems. You're together as a group. The way it'll be scored, if it's an excellent explanation, you get 10 points. 7 if it's good, 3 if it's poor, 0 if it's just completely bad or there's no explanation at all. And grammar matters, so pay attention to your grammar. 0 points for 1 or fewer errors get taken off, 1 for 2 or 3 errors, and 2 for 4 or more errors. So the goal of this is to get you helping each other how to solve a problem, figuring out how to solve problems, and I'll be making comments as well. So I'll be mostly on the homework, I'll be asking questions. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? If you're particularly struggling, I may get more detailed with some of my questions. And this is all about you guys and me supporting you around solving the problems. The other thing that you have is and this first one is kind of simple, you have a discussion question you're going to have to do each week, right? And so when you start out the discussion question, answering the discussion question, you're going to make your initial post. That has to be a thoughtful, yeah, I'm really trying post. And you'll get 2 points for that, or 0 if I don't think it's thoughtful, or if you didn't do it, right? Now, you have to then post thoughtful comments on at least 2 other posts that people make. Okay, so you're going to go out and you're going to look at Joe Schmo's post. You're going to make some useful comments trying to get them to what you believe to be the answer. You're going to read comments I make, you're going to read comments others make, you're going to read through the thread trying to come up with what you believe is the final answer for that. Now you're not going to copy and paste, all right? So no copying and pasting. You're going to come up with your final answer. You're going to close out your thread or end your thread with a post that's labeled final answer. And then you're going to give me your final answer on this question. And again, 10 points, 7 points, 3, and 0. And the same structure around grammatical errors. All right. So you might start off not knowing much at all. Now, thoughtful may be, maybe you've come up with something that's completely wrong. All right. I don't care if it's completely wrong as long as you thought about it. The goal of this is for you to eventually get to, oh, this is what the answer to this really is. All right. What's next in the module? Okay, material, you'll see there's a math primer, there's a PDF on slides, there are videos. These are links to videos of me walking you through different slides. Homework number 2. Now you'll see you can't start week 2 until you've done several things. Gotten at least 10 out of 15 on the calculator usage, submitted your discussion, and submitted your 2 discussions, right? If you've not made your submissions here and you haven't scored at least 10 out of 15, you can't move on. Homework 2. you have to score 5 out of 10. These are problems on motion. Again, there's a discussion on the problems. There's a discussion question that you're going to go through. You're going to form a hypothesis and a question, a hypothesis, and an experiment. Um, and now we have our first lab part. So for online, we're doing things that you can do in your environment. On occasion, you may have to run to the store and buy some Play-Doh or some marbles or some little things like that. But these are experiments you're going to be conducting on your own. And you'll see lab one, it's lab one, part one, because this is what you're supposed to start doing this week. When we get into the next week, there will be lab one, part two. And this is more things you're supposed to be doing. And you see this says 0 points. The reason it says 0 points is in the final week before the semester, before the exam, is when the lab will be due, and I don't think I've got that in the Canvas yet. Not yet, right? So in the final week before the exam for this section, that's where the lab will be due. So you'll be collecting data. You'll be collecting data. There'll be a lab one part 3 I have yet to make. You'll be doing that here and collecting more data. There'll be a lab one part 4. That'll be here. Again, you'll be collecting more data. And here will be the instructions on the write-up. The write-up will be due before the exam, right? The write-up will be due before the exam. And you'll notice here again in week 4, you have to score at least a 2 out of 5 points. There are only 5 questions in week 4. In week 5, you have to score at least a 2 out of 5 points. Why am I doing this? If you're struggling so much that you're not getting at least 2 out of 5, you're not going to do well on the exam. And you need to come to me in some way to get help, or go to your fellow students to get help before you get there. The exams are timed. Every exam will be broken into 3 parts. There's going to be a discussion question, there's going to be a multiple choice section, and there are going to be exam problems. All right. And so these are timed separately. Instead of having it be one big marathon test that's 50 minutes long or so, or an hour and a half long, it's broken into pieces to give you a better chance at doing it. So that is how each of these is going to work. You've got to get stuff done every week. If you're not getting stuff done every week, you're going to be in trouble. The discussions will close out, and so you've got a limited amount of time to do a lot of this stuff. Please, please get on it. And let's take a quick look at the syllabus. A few key points, if it'll get there. Okay, you have my office hours here. You have our subject learning outcomes, which map onto different modules. Homework's 30%. Discussion problems, the homework discussion problems are 10%. So your group work on the homework is 10%, and your individual work on the homework is 30%. You have your discussion questions. Those are 10% of your grade. Lab reports, 10% of your grade. There will be 4 lab reports during the semester. Well, that's not quite true. They're not due every week. They're going to be 4 due during the semester. Okay. Midterm exams, they're going to be 4 exams during the semester. They total over 30% of your grade. And then the final is 10% of your grade. And the final will be comprehensive. I have a standard 10-point grading scale. I put this statement in there just to emphasize that if you're not participating, you're going to be a cutout and get an F in the course. We start going from point A, Newton's laws, gravity, kinematics, momentum, and then we get to our first exam, and then heat, temperature, heat flow, black body radiation. We get to our second exam. Electricity, parallel and series circuits, electrical safety, household wiring. We get to our next exam. What is light? What is sound? How do we hear? How do we see? That's our final exam. And I have this week, this last week of the semester, for review activities. I don't know exactly how we're going to do that yet in an online setting, but that is a time where you should be going back over old problems, you should be going back over old discussions, you should be going back over old exams, all of that kind of stuff. And then the final exam is the week of May 4th. And the final exam, like the other exams, will be broken into pieces so you can take them on one at a time. Okay, that's it. Hopefully you will hopefully you'll have a great time this semester, and I look forward to start getting those emails from you and seeing you update stuff and interact with the course. All right, have a great semester.